I just wanted to record what you're telling me. Because I oftentimes am interested in the history of what you did, back then, in those days, and I can't, sometimes I try and tell Mariah, and I don't remember everything that you were telling me, So I just thought I wanted to record it.
Put that on before.
Yeah. Well, we got a long trip ahead of us.
Yeah. No.
We're only at Bolton Landing, so we got a long drive ahead of us.
Well, I just have a blackout now.
No. But the thing I remember when I was when I went with you and Ina, and we went to Salt Lake City, Utah, and I remember when we were going around it was Las Vegas, and we were walking around Las Vegas.
I remember that.
Right, and then we sat down, and you told me all about. You were telling me all about when you were in the war, and there were things that I didn't know that you were telling me about, and then when I went back home, I tried to tell some to Charlotte and to Mariah, but I couldn't remember. The thing that I don't remember you telling me, understanding about, when it first started, when you first went to the war, how did that come about? Did they come knocking on your door and say, you're going to come, or were you already in, like the Boy Scouts or something, in other words, when you had to go on the anti-aircraft gun, you were a kid at school, right? You were in school.
What?
You were at school still, right? You were going to school.
I couldn't get the word out.
When you...
We went to the anti-aircraft gun?
Yes, before that, when you lived at home with your mother and father, how did it come about that you had to go? Did they come and tell you, or did you go volunteer? How did it come about?
Don't forget, I just turned 15.
Right.
15 years old in October. Then before Christmas time, I got orders to the military.
Right. And you were...
all those kids in my area.
Right.
Got those, not just me alone. And so we all met in Wyden.
Right.
Which was a bigger city than the villages,
Right.
We all came from around the woods around Wyden. And then we went to
all right, where were you leaving off? You said that you left off on something about the Danube, or
anyhow, a camp. I forget how many people you were. I think we probably were about 150 people my age. And all I remember, it was interesting because big trees, type of trees they have here, Christmas type trees.
Right.
And it was fun for us kids. We had mess hall there. They had those big kettles where they cooked the food, They threw everything in there. Sausage, meat, and herbs and so on. I think they were pretty good tasting.
And they treated you good.
And then they have big flagpole there with the German flag there. Then during the day, we had to go along the forest there, hiding underneath the trees, and just looking out like the enemy was going to come up there. We had no weapons or anything.
Oh, it was practice. It was,
just for killing time, actually.
Right.
Because they probably didn't know what to do with us, So you have to remember, there was already 1945, the war ended in May. So there was nothing really going on in that area, because the area I lived in, Bavaria, Austria, was no war going on. No big industry, no big cities. The Russians were coming up to Austria.
So the war wasn't officially ended, but basically for all intents and purposes it was over.
Right. But the older soldiers, because they know the war's lost, over, you know. But they haven't got the order yet from the German High Command about to lay their arms. So officially, they couldn't just take off. They deserting, you know.
So they had to keep training.
Exactly. And then we got put on a train to Munich. We didn't know why. We just going along. And then during the time, as we got near Nuremberg, Munich, which in the meantime was bombed by the Allies, English and Americans at that time. During the time, traveling on the train, the head of the train, somewhere ahead, it got bombed. Because we had to change stuff, we had to jump out. And during that time, my friend got killed. Now, I don't know if it's by shrapnel, most likely from a piece of tacks or stone, you know.
What was your friend's name?
Yeah.
Do you remember his name?
Huh?
What was his name?
I forgot now. I can't remember anymore. It's long ago. And then we stayed overnight in a farm close by in Hayes. It was January, end of January, February, beginning of February. Must have been cold, but I don't recall there wasn't much snow. Well, anyhow, the next day, after they fixed the tracks, we were on a train again, went to Munich. We get off the train at the main station there, which area was bombed. It's a big train station. And we walked to the city, out the city for another 5 kilometers, which is about 3.5 miles. We ended up in a camp with the anti-aircraft. There were 5 of them, 5 or 6 big ones. They were recessed into the ground about 4 foot below. And they had barracks there. We put our civilian clothes in the barracks. They gave us uniform, which kind of down looking.
The uniform?
They weren't looking like the Air Force. The Air Force had blue. But it could be because we were considered auxiliary aircraft.
Auxiliary. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what color was your uniform?
Huh?
What color was your uniform?
It was kind of brown.
Oh, you said brown. Okay. Sounding brown. Okay.
Maybe that's what they had left. And then they started sending us on the anti-aircraft during the day. The sign flowing. We're running out from our barracks, putting our helmets on, and run over to the different position wherever you were. In my case, sitting on the I don't know what they called the thing at that time. I think mine was side directional, while the other guy would have been for height.
Okay.
And Jackson falling the needle. And then it started off becoming serious at night. The siren going off, and then they hear guns on the other side of Munich shooting. And then the Scheinwerfer, which are the searchlights.
Oh.
They're big ones.
Yeah.
They're about, I would say, at least 4 foot across. Carbon bags, you know, the filaments.
Yeah.
They're going up, of course, 10 miles, and searching around. Once they hit an airplane, this was danger to the airplane because it lights up the cockpit. The pilot couldn't see anymore.
Oh, so
blinding them.
Yeah.
I read this in the paper.
That's how powerful the lights were.
Yeah, they were powerful.
Wow.
And then, of course, the thing kicked in when the directional signal from the satellite, the hearing satellite, go over to my equipment, since the needle was whistling back and forth, according to the strength of the signal they picked up from the sky, and I had to correspond, trying to complement all the signal uncover the needle. And then...
And it's in the dark, right?
You're right.
And which is
and then
more
whenever the
difficult.
order came, the one who pulled the gun, this had nothing to do with me.
Right.
I just had to be sure my time, so the other guy flew. And then the guy pulled.
How big were the guns again? Well, you said the shell was as long as the car?
88 millimeters.
Okay.
88 millimeters. That's about that much anyhow.
Shells.
So, the best I can only hear my own ear.
Oh, here, because we're going down a hill. You gotta go like this, Pop. You gotta go, you like this. Like you're in a dentist chair. It'll help.
Well, anyhow, then as Munich put up the flag, and I wasn't sad, I remember that.
The flag, you mean the flag of surrender?
Our captain told you about that.
Yeah.
There was one captain, a Hauptmann, and a few older guys who told us how to do shoot the gun. Then he called us together and he said, well, it looks like the war is about to come to an end. It wasn't officially ended yet. So he said, well, there's two possibilities. We could join the Hermann Göring division, which is in the mountain, which is obviously nearby. And or everybody go home. But either side, everybody take off.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too smart to join
you're on your own, you know.
The other one, So he just let you go.
Yeah.
And
so we all took off, and there was at that time when one of the NCOs, the older guy, he had a pistol. There was a Luger or a Mouse, I forgot, but beautiful thing, I love pistols. Well, who doesn't is young?
Right.
Younger. He threw it away, and I picked it up.
You saw him throw it away?
He threw it away.
But you saw it? You saw it? Yeah.
I picked it up. I put it in the barracks. The barracks was up the ground about 2 feet on cement blocks.
Yes.
You know. Put it underneath somewhere there in the dirt. Not realized. I mean, when you're young, you're stupid, you know. That thing's gonna rust, you know.
Yeah.
Never realized that I'd probably never come back.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have come back, maybe even thought about it, if I wouldn't have gone to American Air Force and I happened to be stationed there later on.
And you did go back. You did go back to it later on.
Yeah.
You found it.
Yeah, I found all rusted to pieces.
Oh. But that's something.
Yeah. And there were 6 of us, like 5 or 6 of us, came from the same, not from the same village, from general direction where I come from, village and so on. We started taking off and walking, and then the Mustang American fighter planes often circling overhead. And that was kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
They were kind of low.
Yeah. But they didn't shoot at you or anything?
No, we were only a few people.
Yeah.
Besides, we were already in civilian clothes.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have the uniform on anymore.
You put the...
Except they had the German belt on.
Yeah.
Which had the sign written on Blut und Ehre, means blood and honor.
Oh.
Something like that. Like an Americans had what on guard. In guard reserves or something like that.
Yeah.
And I threw this away later on.
The belt.
That's another story. And then we kept walking, and then we stayed overnight in the farmhouse, then walked again. My idea was walking toward Czechoslovakia. Now, when I said Czechoslovakia, that part was at that time Germany. But now it's Czechoslovakia. And this is the corner down there where Austria, Czechoslovakia, like the state of Bavaria comes together, you know. And get in to my hometown on this side, because on the other side, from the west, the Americans and the English were coming. And the Russians were thinking even.
Right.
But at the same time around, the farmer told us, because there was some shooting, far distance away, he said, boys, don't go that way, the Russians are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So also the Russians were quickly advancing that way.
And you didn't want to get caught by the Russians.
There was still some fighting going on, because that was of the main thing of the German soldier high command, to keep the Russians out of Germany as long as they can. Matter of fact, later on, it was the work would have been ended much sooner between the West, meaning the Allies, the English, French, and so on, because the high command, German high command, didn't want to surrender to the Russians, because they know they were preparing, you know, because the Russians had no agreement with the Geneva Convention. You know about the Geneva Convention, about how we handle business,
right?
And so on.
Prisoner of war.
They have never signed that.
Right.
So I turned a different direction away.
How about the other guys you were with?
Not directly towards the west, but in a different direction anyhow. You know.
Just you, or the other guys too?
Yeah, the other guys too.
Okay.
But later on we separated.
Yeah.
We separated. And then we came to a place, we stayed overnight at the farm, off in the loft. And then during the night, there was commotion outside, sound of cars. Door from the barn door were open, and 4 or 5 GIs came in there. And we all looking down, about 4 or 5 of us or so on. And they looked up, they didn't do anything.
Because you're kids. Yeah.
Well, we could tell. We didn't even have any slavery yet. It just let us go. We left again.
Okay.
But the next day when we walked, we came to the city town of Dorfen. Already halfway through, no, matter of fact, 3/4 through, going up that incline, there was a big prison camp, all German soldiers, with the American guards. And we kept on going, and we were actually fast, when one of the GIs said, "Hey, you Ruski?" Now we understood that, or something like that. They mean Russian, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, a few of us still had some uniform parts on.
Yeah.
And I remember we were looking at each other and deciding we should say yes or no. But at the same time, we were worried about if we found out we were lying, he's going to shoot us.
Yeah.
No, Ruski. So we had to go into that compound. Let's go in there, nothing. We didn't even get pissed quiet. We didn't have no fun in the first place. But it was filled up. But during the night, it started drizzling. Oh, one thing is, they took my, GI took my watch away. I lost that.
Yeah.
I thought the Russians do that. We knew that, but I didn't know GIs do that.
Oh, yeah, any soldiers would do that.
But I had a kind of meat, like
Spam or something?
Or meat or something like that. So I didn't want that to get stolen. Food was important at the time. At the fence, I took a hole, and put it on it. Of course, I never got it back.
No. Yeah.
And during the night, jizzling. Before they took it out, there was a big must have been a city hall, big city hall, with a huge basement. Because old buildings always used to be built on big basement or deep underground. That's why so many Germans survived, because all the old buildings, 3, 4, 5 old stones, huge basement, you know, that means it takes quite a bit of chopping about too, you know.
Right.
What usually happened is the buildings fell in and buried the people alive.
Yeah.
That's why most of the war, everything had exits underground to the next building over, so they couldn't get out.
So if the building collapsed,
it takes a lot of life.
That makes sense, yeah.
They put us over there. It was so crowded. Somebody sleeping on my leg, I sleep on somebody else's leg, the army comes all to turn it on. The next day, everybody out. Just out. They understood that much, you know. And the soldiers, we were the last one. We didn't get out. Like the German guard soldiers said, don't go. They see we were young. They themselves didn't know what's going to happen to them.
They don't know, right?
You know,
right.
Just because they were American, they still didn't trust them. They still know what would happen. So they want to save us.
Yeah.
Don't go. So we didn't go out. And then the lieutenant came in here, which I know. I didn't know it was lieutenant at that time, but I know now. The boss.
Yeah.
And no, not yet. And the GI wanted us to go. We didn't go, but he called a lieutenant. And the lieutenant had enough sense. He called the mayor of the city, who spoke some English. And that mayor told him we were auxiliary Air Force. More or less like saying help us, you know.
Yeah.
So they put us on a truck, on an American truck, and just a few miles outside was a big German graves camp. Used to be for German women in there, and there were still a number of German women there with uniforms on, but they were free. There was no guards around.
Okay, yeah.
We were told just to stay there.
With the women, yeah, right.
Which we did. And I can't remember anymore who provided us with food. I don't know that. We were there at least a week.
Wasn't there a time when the GIs gave you chocolate, I think? And you
that was a good part of it. The GIs were forbidden to have any contact with Germans. For being GI, being German, being girls or boys, you know, it doesn't work that well. They came anyhow. And we have big tables there. I think they're probably 8-10 feet long, with tablecloths hanging all the way down, like in a dining area, you know. And so every time the MP came around, the military police, because the GIs came in our barracks, not where the women were.
Right.
And they went underneath our tables.
They would hide. Yeah. That's funny.
Now the MP probably checked the women barracks more, but they just came in, looked around, they went out again.
Yeah.
But the thing was that for that they gave us whiskey and chocolate. I didn't drink. I guess the guy gave the whiskey to somebody else or something anyhow.
But because it was basically you were doing them a favor, so they did you a favor. They were being nice. Yeah.
So that was good. There was only one uproar. One of young German guys found a bazooka. A German bazooka. It gives you an idea how when you're young, you don't think about war in a way as it's more like a adventure, you know. And he shot that not hot, something shut in the air.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then GIs came.
Oh. And what did they do?
I forgot about what was going on. I couldn't understand. But they didn't do anything because after they seen what's happened,
a kid, yeah.
Just somebody playing with thing around, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
They were there for a while, and
you didn't understand English at that time, so it must have just sounded.
So it was about a week after that when we got called in to the major came. Oh, he came to us. We couldn't take off. But one thing he said, there's no transportation.
Mm-hmm.
We're on our own.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. That's when we started separating. And I started walking by myself. And I don't put up on the safe or something. I don't know why.
Well, the war was officially over then, right? At that point?
The war wasn't officially over yet.
Oh, it wasn't?
No. No more fighting or anything that I know.
So this must have been what, like April maybe of 1945? You think it was?
I think it must have been April.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know officially it wasn't over yet.
Right.
For what type of purpose it was, you know.
Right.
And I started walking and walking.
It's home to Flessenberg or White?
I had to be off the door by 7 o'clock at night.
Oh.
Military curfew.
Uh-huh.
I remember that. So when it came close, I started looking for farmhouses along the road.
Well, you didn't have a watch, so you just must have imagined what time by looking at the
You can tell what it gets close.
Right.
And I found a farmhouse, a good farmer's take you in, and they'll feed you.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day I started walking again. 12 hours, where it is, from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock, something like that.
Whoa, yeah. 200 miles.
So, yeah, something like that, whatever it is, from here to my hometown.
Which was Wyden, right? Wyden? Where you walked?
Yeah. And then, nothing really exciting happened except
when you got home, your mother and father.
Only later on, I've been told, way much later, that it was dangerous actually, because the side roads I took to stay away from military convoys, especially from a German SS. Because the German SS, which were the elite troops, they were still active, and they couldn't have shot me.
For being a deserter, right? Or they would say that you were a deserter.
Exactly.
Right.
I guess maybe the farmers must have told us that, you know. But there was a second danger too, because the least distance of the concentration camp, they were roaming the fire.
Oh.
The countryside. In other words, a lot of them were good, you know.
Yeah.
But some of them were really held in for German. Since we didn't have any weapons, they could have done something to us. So
yes.
But we didn't think at that time.
Right.
It just was told later on.
Right.
So I keep on walking, and I think it took a week to get home. And the only thing that worries me, if at my hometown, Dickies Wyden, if it got bombed.
Yeah.
Was it? I finally got near at the height where you could oversee the city. I was so relieved that everything seemed to be okay.
Thank goodness.
Except as I got near, which is next where I live, where my grandparents lived, the big chimney, which is a huge chimney, was shut off. And then later on I was told, well, one of the GI flyer pilots, for the heck of it, just machine gunned that day, you know. There were no more Germans fighting it out, no German airplanes to stop them.
He wanted to shoot something.
Yeah, exactly. And here I go into my grandparents there. because we had talked to each other and so on. And now they work in the early part of the afternoon.
And your feet must have been...
My parents wanted me to stay. My grandparents wanted me to stay.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get home.
Oh, okay.
So that means another 56 kilometers or 50 kilometers. Okay, another 12 miles.
Uh-huh.
And grandparents told me you first have to be up the road. But there was no cars up there. Oh, look at that rain.
Yeah, wow.
Because I know the area, I just stayed off the road and used the little paths.
Because you knew the area.
Yeah, close to the forest, the woods, from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I got there to the road to cross, my mother was standing outside by the park. Do you remember park? The little river?
Oh, right, yes.
The park, you know me.
Yes.
We used to live down there. And she's standing outside, leaning against the railing, which goes down the river there.
Yeah.
With another friend. And here come up there. She opened her arms. You there?
Oh, what a feeling it must have been. Well, you never forget that feeling.
And that's the way I got home.
That's how you go. And your feet, I remember you telling me, when I was a kid, I remember you telling me your feet were all tired, bloody. Your feet from walking 200 miles? Your feet?
Oh, yeah. They were tired, but I don't remember that there.
I remember you saying that. So then, and how about your father, Opa?
No, well, he wasn't home.
That's right. He was still in the Russian prison.
He didn't get home till about a year and a half.
He was in prison, right?
Yeah, after the war, because he got caught by the Russians.
Right.
That side. So during that time, my mother could by herself, so we had to fend for ourselves. But I being the oldest one, 15, the rich one, but born on 16. And my other brothers were each five younger, so 11 and 6, something like that at that time. So I was the breadwinner, so to speak. And like during the war where I was there, before I was there, we go out in the surroundings, looking for berries from the trees, apples, pears. Which my mother was good, She would serve in cans for the winter.
Yeah.
He made wine. Oh, some of the pears with the window up there, though. Never seen them over. And mushrooms, especially mushrooms. Go and eat the trees and find the mushrooms and bring them home. And during the war, when the farmer got in his corn, wheat, there's always a lot left. We went out and picked up what's left, which was kind of tiresome.
Right.
But we got quite a bit of stuff together. And then we had a big bag full of this stuff. We went to the miller, and he looked at it. We left it there. Because he could tell from the amount, When he gave him a certain amount
of money,
of finished flour.
Oh, I see. That's right.
It didn't mean anything.
It didn't mean anything at this time. Right. You couldn't buy anything with money. You had to make it, right?
The amount is a big wooden thing, about 6 foot long, 2 foot wide, 2 foot high. Always half filled with flour, Now, because people living in big cities didn't have the choices we had. So that's the lucky part.
Yeah.
We're in a farm country,
Yeah.
So we always had something to eat.
And that lasted a few years? It lasted a few years like that? I mean...
even after the war, but then, of course, the mortar planes started going back food came in, eggs in packages, you know, you just had to add water in it, add water to it, or milk, whatever. Shoes. I got my first American soldier shoes, very good material too, you know. Good thing. The only shoes I had at home were made of wooden soles, which chaps down.
Really?
Sandals, you know.
Wow.
The wood was cut off, years we could move, nailed with a strip of tires in order to hold them together. So there was a big relief when we got those shoes, you know. The Marshall Plan, you heard about
I've heard, yes. Yep, I did. So now
my father didn't come, my stepfather didn't come home till about a year and a half later.
Did he ever talk about being in a Russian prison camp?
I started working back go back to work on the railroad. About a year after I returned from war, they opened up the factories again to repair all those trains. And that's my trade I learned. And what happened then, well, then my father came home.
Did he talk much about his experience?
Huh?
Did your father talk much about his experience in the prison?
We never really talked about that because I really wasn't getting much into talking with my stepfather. So I didn't know at that time that he was my stepfather, you know.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know till I was about 17 years old. That's what my mother told me.
But you were never that close to him before that either?
No. So my mother and him really didn't get along that well because he was a drinker.
Yeah.
And unfortunately he got his beer any amount of sleep because his friend was the brewer master of the brew factory in Florence. Because in Germany, towns and villages often make their own beer. They had breweries, they had local breweries, and so on. It was actually not a bad growing up at all in my case, lucky because of the location where I was in, and the war never really got to it. And I even enjoyed being, for the first 4 years, being part of the young folk, which translates actually like in English. Young folk, it's almost like to say it's young folk, but in a sense it's pathfinder. Because we had our own troop and did our marching. We had drummers as we marched through the city, through the town, boom, 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 and sing German soldier song. And these are maneuvers like put band on our arm, red, and the opposition had blue.
Oh, okay.
And then we hide and then attack. We tried to take the thing off from the arm. If you get it off, the guy's dead. Something like that, you know. And I played, during the war, I played theater, invited the parents of the village. That was nice. It's all exciting things when you're young.
Right, right.
One
sense of belonging.
I remember is making pyramids. 4 or 5 of us on the bottom, the stone guy.
Yeah.
And then the other one on top, and then another one on top, way top, you know. Something like that. And then one playing Indians electric bar. I put some colored paper over it, and we're sitting around wood, and ain't like Indians on the face there, don't sing songs. Some I forgot those, you know. And another one, I remember that very well. What they call a Negro song. Because the language in Germany you still have the word nigger in Italian for black is nigger. Because over here you don't use that word over here.
Right.
Because nigger is in English, it's an Italian word, means nigger in German, which black in English. Saying a thing about nigger auf Stunde de Cooper, Schüsse bei Schindelsdinner. Und da vor Barrikaden stehen Negerweiber something like that. It's part of the day.
What does that mean?
Entertainment, because wartime entertainment for the parents could
What does that mean? What does the song mean?
What it means, let me see. Neger uprising is in Cuba. Bullets flying through the air and on high elephants. Neger women standing guard. And that was something like that.
Yeah.
It means, you know.
And then the parents are all watching.
Huh?
And the parents are listening. The parents are there watching.
Yeah, the population,
Right.
they say, watching that. Something like that. It was always a busy day for us.
Yeah.
And of course, we had the national celebration. Then we went out to and sing what they call Nazi songs now.
Yeah.
No, by the way, did you know that the German national song is still the same song as in the Hitler?
No, really? Still now?
Yeah.
They never changed it?
It's the same thing. Matter of fact, it put me in a bind. When I was in the Air Force, my first year, coming home to Buffalo, and my father belonged to the Bavarian Hunter Club, and he always took me there, you know, and I became an honorable member of the Bavarian Club, shooting club or something like that, and out in the backyard, whatever day it was, they were hoisting the American flag. Some kind of a ceremony was going on, and played the anthem. And of course, being in the military with my uniform on, I saluted. Then stopped and got my salute, and all of a sudden, they raised the German flag.
Right.
Now, which is Schwarz, Rot, Gold.
Right, exactly.
Now, you know, which would have been okay.
Yeah.
But then the music kicked in.
Oh.
Deutschland, über alles in der Welt. See what the American propaganda did. Über always means actually, translated correctly, overall.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the idea. The thing meant German for the people is better than anything else. They love Germany much more than anything else. You know, that's what I mean. But of course, of wartime, it got turned around saying the German people wanted to be over everybody.
Right.
We just wanted to be everybody.
Right.
So here I was in a
that's surprised.
I was sweating out in there. But then I later found out, well, they don't sing actually. It's still part of the thing, but they don't sing the first 12 anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They sing the second one, or not at all.
Maybe the
second one is Deutsche Frauen, deutsche deutsche wine, and Deutsch, which means German women, German something, German wine, and German song. I always will love with something like that, you know.
So it sounds more like pride of your country, but not saying that your country is over the rest of the world.
Yeah, so
better than everybody else.
So people don't have the idea.
Right.
Yeah. Then later on, in Plattsburgh, I found out, actually, the melody from Deutschen People is a church melody. I can't find it anymore. Because years ago, when I played, I had an electronic thing, and I had that booklet, and I was playing there, and all of a sudden, this Deutschen People, and I looked at the title, had a God something, and the church. Now the song, I mean the text, was it from Heinrich von Falfreden, a German poet. He wrote that. But I never knew that the melody actually was a church song.
And it's interesting that during the war, the Nazis took it and turned it into propaganda song. Right. But the original idea of the song was not propaganda.
For the whole thing.
So I guess then after the war, people still sing the song because it's original.
So in other words, the thing was not created a German national song by a Nazi.
Right.
They used the Ute melody, and for Falfreden, he made the poem from a poem.
Yes.
The Nazi used it as a song, national song. And then after the war, when Germany became a democratic country again, in 1950, they took over a thing which was the same way they took over the old German flag under the Emperor Wilhelm. Kaiser Wilhelm.
Yep.
Was the first World War national flag.
And then, it was in 1932 or 33 when Hitler came to power.
Right. We'll get that over.